Spirit calls, here I am, everyone. It's the clock just turned, so it's late, but it's 9:24, 2024. Who is calling on me? You can't give me your name, hon. I don't hear names well. He's saying, Andrea, my name is Dome. I will try later. For through you carrying my message. And he's going to try to slip his name in when I'm not trying to focus on it. It's Dome. He's saying, forget it. I am missing. Did you say from Minnesota? He says, Andrea, you can't spell that like you can spell Mississippi. That's Mississippi. He says, that's right. I'm missing from Mississippi. I'm sorry. Are you saying your aunt is looking for you, or that you fell where there's ants? He says, Andrea, my aunt is carrying my posters, my missing. She carries the weight of the finding of me. He says, and with you, dear, and what he means by that is do my ability, or my invitation, I'm sorry, my invitation. I can't even say it. Invitation to him. Andrea, you are allowing for me to be heard. In Mississippi. I learned to be grown, so he grew up in Mississippi. I grew from a small child to a tall child. For my aunt's witnessing of it, she's very known to me. Go ahead, say it again. Her failing from her fingers, the posters in the finding of me. He's saying this can't do. He says, for my aunt, I'm watching you, aunt. He says, I admire you. Thank you for continuing your looking for me. Go ahead. My aunt is sick in her bed. Is that what you said? He's saying, Andrea, my aunt has been long in her bed. She misses her finding of me. And I get that. That means that she has a hole inside of her. says it's whistling for me. The whole inside of her, like a wind, is whistling for her. He says, I come through that wind in there, Auntie, for your. He said, I always called her Aunt, not Auntie. Okay. Your trailings for me. Stop now. Stop short now. The trail is ended. You found me. And with this lady's extension, my offering, I can be known to your heart to be found. So, I'm sorry. I know better than to ask questions and lead spirit, because they come here with full understanding from the higher realms what they want to bring. And it's always better than what I think should be brought. So please pardon me to the aunt and Dome. He keeps saying Dome, but I don't know if I'm hearing it right. He says, my name is like home. Rhymes with home. I am home. There are heavens. There are gates. And know that they are wide open. And he's saying he flew like a dove, like a bird with really, really long expanded wings right through them. And still didn't touch the sides. That's how open they are. My hope for me was to see longer trails, meaning a longer life where his footprints were on earth for his lifetime. And yet, it's not for my stomping. In other words, his green light came, and he's adjusted fit, he says. He is right where he's supposed to be. And for my aunt, I stride here. In other words, he's not going somewhere else in spirit. For my guiding to her, the light, the message that of her plight to find me. He says, I wish to dim the discouragement of her finding me. He says he hears her howling, which is that wind in that open hole within her. I hear the howling. And it is not for the treasures to be within my aunt's chest. He wants it to stop. Say it again. He says, I gave my life for the finding of me. Did you take your life? Is that what you're saying? He says, I am Dome from memory, and always remember me. He's saying his glasses are lowered down. Go ahead, say it again. glasses are above me. He's saying he's seeing very clearly now from where he is. So he's got like his sunglasses he pulled up on his head. He's seeing very clearly. For the shades were drawn low for him before reaching spirit. He was not doing well. I was in a darkness, and for that whole, I have watched my aunt fall. I carry her back up with this message. He says, I'm not only strong, but I'm tall. I am so tall in spirit. It is for my bending to reach you all. Like I reached for my aunt when I was small. Do you mind? I'll go ahead. He's rhyming. He's doing poetry, and there's the Eddas, the Rosa Eddas. There's many. How do you call it? Written accounts of history or stories that are written in poems as if coded from spirit realm when they're rhyming. It is for the shielding, the guarantee that what comes out is truth. Not that anything from higher realms is going to be anything but the truth, but when it's riddles and rhymes, it's divine. He says, I am now aware of my divinity amongst we divine, and he's talking about every single one of us living. My aunt will slow in time for her reaching for me. Her letting go, her grasp of finding me. Will allow her to receive me as I am in spirit. He says, I'm folding my knees and praying to his aunt. I'm asking her, please. Allow me the Savior that carried me. He's asking you to excuse his way of leaving, and he just needed the love of Christ so bad, and that he is enveloped in it. Can I ask you how old you were when you passed? 17. You're not the one with the dog, right? Andrew, I'm the boy who went missing. He says the picture of me standing on the grass. I think he had a car in the driveway. Right? Is that you? I did have a car. I hadn't wanted to go very far on foot, but his dog took off I know you, but you didn't take your life, hon. Wow. He. Go ahead. Wow, his story. Oh, wow, I remember you. I wasn't to run away from home, but only to retrieve the dog that did run from home. I remember you, your story. In the beginning of my abilities, I was scrolling on the missing and he was so loud. I remember you. What are you saying? In the longevity on the in the long of looking at a lifetime, I was just a boy. And yet within his spiraling, in other words, within his leaving his body, um, and returning to spirit, it, he received everything that divinely could be received in him becoming a man, full grown and full known. He says, I am happy where I am. He's telling us that he did grow into a man. And you will see him one day, and when you come, he will hold out his hand to you, and then you will see that he's a man. In other words, he's saying we don't stop at death. We keep growing. Okay, here we go. He says, I am a man apart from my body, apart from the land. He's saying the land that I so cursed, having been as tangled up and injured as he was, for he's saying for the telling, for the understanding, will tell. I didn't want to, but I ran. If I was going to catch the dog, I had to run, and I ran. And I ran as to not lose sight of him into a grove of, he's saying, off the sidewalk, off the map almost, like off the streets, and into this. He said it was a grove of trees, and I see like vines and plants and the foliage that was as high to his knees through in amongst the trees. I ran so fast, his heart and his eyes following the dog, for his he felt like would be his last chance to catch it or to get it, and he was snared. He says, I was caught by the dog. By chasing the dog, he got caught up in my fencing was for my bloodletting. So it's razor wire that he has gotten tangled up in inside of this brush. He's saying more like garden trail, like it's not brush. It's like leafy vines, like really pretty, soft. Andrea, it was like a meadow. But only I wasn't so mellow in the meadow. Oh. He's saying my unlinking. The dog got caught up in the wire. And in his unlinking from the dog, unlinking the dog, trying to save the dog from this wire, he got tangled in it. He's saying the dog was cut much due the wire, and for him only two. For the life of him, he says he couldn't free both of them, the two. For where was your, he cut an artery somehow. Where? He's showing me the back of his right knee, his leg. It was deep. He says it went all the way through that artery. The one in my leg. And though he cursed it, meaning he I was cursing for he was bleeding somewhere else to his hand or his left, like right in here. And although it was bleeding, it's not like that artery was cut all the way through. It was but it was punctured. It was severed down it, like a cracked straw. And for that, he could not tourniquet with his hands his knee, behind his knee. And he was cursing the fate of it all. His inability to the binding of his knee do his other cut. He says that the dog bled out next to him. And then it was him finding me. So this little dog's spirit was with him when he died. He went. So how far were you from your home? My aunt knows the trail of the trees. The meadowy breeze, he's saying. He says, my life, though ending quick, we lingered for being hidden within the trees. He's saying they laid there. They were not found before the dust and the ashes took from us our rust. So he's saying, and when the blood dried up and the flesh was gone, and their ashes to ashes and dust to dust. Is your skeleton? He's saying that both of them are remaining scattered There's the animals. He's saying for our not gathering our the bones gathering back again. I want to tell my auntie that I'm home, and for her heart not to hollow. And continue searching for something unknown. That was beautiful. You're just such a great kid. I remember you. And it is such a strange, unexpected event. Like, why is that wire in there? He's saying that wire was placed there deliberately for murder or for privacy to an owner of the property. He says it was placed there for the privacy. Only for the hiding of me. So it was somebody set it there to catch somebody, snare somebody, hurt somebody. Because the only privacy was the fact that he wouldn't be found. He says, reminding my aunt, I am found. He's above ground, meaning he's in heaven. And the ground lie not where my body is, for your finding of it. What about the wire? He says the crossing of the wire is torn throughout the brush, throughout like the like if you were, I don't know, razor wire must come in a loop of a winded loop. He's saying when it's undone, they're like tunnels, like spirals, and they're still there. Thank you. It's been 27 minutes, good. It is Minnesota. I mean Mississippi. I am a Mississippi man. My aunt, the matriarch of Mississippi. Always in my heart. He says, my dog chasing days ran short. My love for you, for my aunt, does not run short. He's saying, rest among those solid hills. He wants that hollow to become a mountain, solid. For we play in the valleys in many lifetimes. He says, thank you, Andrea. I love my aunt. He says, my life was good. And I enjoyed being there. He says, who knows? I could be anyone and anywhere. I might come back, he says. Thank you. I remember you. I will, when I do have an opportunity, I will find you on the, excuse me, sorry guys. I will find you on the on that poster. I'll find that poster, and I will send a link. Thank you, kid. He was a really neat kid. How was that? That was pretty cool. I was just thinking earlier too that I gotta spice this up. You know, I already did Elvis. I mean, it doesn't get better than that. I mean, what can we do? This way we're helping people. Thanks for the idea, bud. Or thanks for the confirmation that the idea was a good one. 'Cause I remember you. What a bright kid. He says, and he just slammed a nail like one time with a hammer, like he hit the nail. I hit the nail. He hit the nail with his aunt, and he's very, very satisfied that this message is going to get to her. You know the at the circus where you got the big hammer and you gotta hit it on that pad and it raises this little thing to hit the bell. That's what he's doing. He's feeling really good. Thanks, guys. See you next time.